Okay, I've got the rabbit roughed out on the back keel. It'll get fine-tuned when I finish the stem and the front part of the keel. See, I've got the positioning blocks here, so I know it's the same angle as the other one. I have my pieces of tape here I put on before I took the old keel out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this straight edge on here across the tape, and I will use this mark to just mark where I'm going to trim the back of the keel. After I get the keel trimmed, I'm probably going to take it out. I'm going to just find some old varnish, and I'll varnish the inside of it. I find one of the challenges on a boat like this is preventing the transference of the old oil from the old wood into the new one. If I just clamp this down as bare wood, when I go to change the ribs, it'll have had quite some time for all the oil to soak out of the old ribs into the new wood, and I like to have it looking like a new bottom rather than an oily bottom. But anyway, that's where I am for now. I'm going to get this put in, or I'm going to get it trimmed, and then I'm going to just put it in the other room and put some old varnish on it to protect it from the oil. And then I'm going to turn my attention to extracting the stem here. It's going to be a bit of a challenge here. I'll get the stem out, and then I'll just start on the new one. And from there I'll do the front keel to connect to the back.
Off the Gardner, just some moderate volumes.
Okay, I've got the stem almost done. It's been beveled off or roughed off at the front here. I've just pushed the planks in. I'm going to try and skinny it down to the rabbit on the bench a little bit more. Down here at the bottom I've got two stop blocks. I was just thinking I probably only need one, so I'll probably just knock this side off and fair that. Clean up some of the marks on that. After everything's finished, it's all going to need to be finished, faired into the planking after I push the planking down. At the back here, I have the back keel made up. I've got it trimmed off to the line that I marked before I removed the old one. And I've just roughed off the bevel. After I get the front half of the stem in and then the front half of the keel, I'll go along the whole thing and fair the bevel, but more on that later. There's the stern post. It's fitted into there, hasn't been fastened down yet.
and goodbye. Now we'll be leaving and leaving the final show at the Olympics Park Theater on February 28th. As we talk about the he said, "No, what's going for
the society it seemed was quite divided, going at each other. And we were like, well, maybe some songs, some sexy songs, sexy about it. And also we seemed like things to be really kind of pushed back, We didn't have the answers to all the questions, but we went through these things and also about that. So we were saying that we decide what we can accept, we can decide what we can believe is true or make true. So
Okay, so I have the front part of the keel on the bench there. I've roughed off the bevel. This is a plywood device that I made up. I'm going to install this. I've got it marked where it goes. This simulates the bottom of the cast iron device. It goes in the boat. One thing I found interesting is it is not symmetrical. One side is different than the other on these cast iron devices, so this is identical to the cast iron device. It's just hanging down here at the front, but once I get the keel in, the front keel, I'll put a bolt through this hole here, and that will join the front and the back together. I've got a couple of screws. I'll also put a couple of bolts into the front keel here, and that won't really matter because that's the part of the keel that will be cut out for the slot for the device. Okay, I've got the keel bolted in, or fastened into the stem and stern post, so the center line of the boat is complete now. I've put a couple of screws in from the old ribs to keep it from moving. I've still got the block here, which I'm going to take out in a minute. But here are the carriage bolts. They go through to my plywood device pattern. There's the simulation of the bottom of the device. I did notice, it's hard to get on the camera here, that there is a bit of a low spot here at the device, and there should be a slight amount of rocker on one of these boats. So what I've done is I've just cut a piece of wood here. I'm going to put it between the driver's seat and the keel just to lift the keel up. And after I do that, I'm going to go along and fine-tune the bevel on the keel. Up here at the stem, I put a screw in this and it's fastened to the stem now, the keel. I've used some 3M5200 to bed it in. I did that yesterday, so it's all the stickiness is gone now. So now it's safe to start tuning up the rabbet here. So I usually start with a chisel here, just to get it to match the rabbet on the stem. After I've done that, I'll go along the entire length, and I have this stick here, simulates the planking. I like to bevel the keel before I remove the second round. The second round has to come out to steam the garboard, but I find that it's far better to bevel the keel while I have the second round as reference, because in a lot of places there aren't any ribs to determine the bevel. So what I'll do is I'll just hold the stick here and I'll plane the keel until the stick lays flat along the whole bevel here. And I've also got the distance of the lap here marked on this end. It's got a slight bevel on the stick here to simulate the bevel on the plank. And I'll just slide this in down to the lap mark and use that as a reference to until it lays flat. Where the bevel is flat, I like to use a plane, but up near the bow, where there's kind of a fairly rapid rolling twist, I find a spoke shave is the best tool. I was never good at this until I had a fellow who worked for me who used one of these all the time, and he showed me how to put a good edge on it, and it's just a wonderful tool to use if you get it working properly. It can be very frustrating if it's not. But I find the spoke shave will follow the bevel around the front a lot better than a plane will. Plane is basically something they use to make it something flat. And this is flat sections, but it's a constantly winding bevel, so I find the spoke shave is just the tool for the job here. So I've just gone along systematically, averaging between the ribs and the second round here with my stick here, and making sure it lays flat on the keel. And I got lots of help today, looks like. Well, we had about 6 feet of snow over the weekend. It's December 2nd. Highway 11 is still closed. It's been closed for a day and a half now. And we just got a lot of snow this weekend. So I noticed my plastic shelter in the back here, which I've had for about 10 years. Never really had an issue with the snow on it before. I've had a lot of snow on it before, but looks like I got just a couple of flakes too many this weekend. See, the roof line is down a bit, so what I'm doing is I'm going to shovel a trench so I've got somewhere to move this snow. Hopefully I'll be able to get inside of it. There's a 1926 Dispro inside. I think it's the last one built by Port Carney. Don't know why I got it, but anyway, it's in there. And here it is, leaning this way too far. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting a lot of rabbit work done on that keel today. Looks like my work's... Well, it's been a long day. I've got... there was a 1926 Dispro in there. I somehow managed to get it out of that through this door. It's in the shop now, making things a little tight. But I don't think it would be doing too well in here for the rest of the winter. This is where the boat was. Looks like I've got some work cut out for me in the spring here. Cut out for me here.